Hello, good afternoon. My name is Chris Uloko. This is Safe to Speak. I want to welcome you to this special session. This is a session where we are opening doors to an important conversation. Why do so many persons carry heavy weights inside of them alone? No one has to suffer alone. No one has to go through difficult times alone. So, why do many people carry weight, so much weight alone? Why do they suffer in silence? We want to examine this topic, and I hope at the end of this session we would be better informed of the dangers in keeping silence, in the dangers of going through traumatic experience alone without having to share it with anyone. So, joining me this afternoon with great privilege and joy, I want to introduce my very friend, a co-founder of Safe to Speak. He is Pastor Shofolue Emmanuel. Good afternoon, sir. Nice to meet you.
Good afternoon, sir.
All right. Thank you for joining us, Pastor Emmanuel. Now, a lot of people will go straight up into this conversation. Now, a lot of persons go through difficult times, go through emotional challenges, through traumatic experiences, but they tend to carry these things alone. They try to carry this weight alone. They try to go through it alone. They sometimes they feel they are so strong they can just bottle things up and hold on to it and stay reserved because they don't want anybody to get to know. For a lot of reasons we are going to be examining this afternoon. Now, it is very, very important. It is very, very important for us to know that a lot sometimes when we see people act the way they act, when we see people behave the way they behaved, sometimes it's not their fault. They are going through something difficult that no one is aware of. And they are not saying it to anyone. They are going through difficult times. So I remember sometimes you see somebody crossing the road carelessly without thinking if there's an oncoming vehicle. Don't blame that person. A lot of persons are so traumatized and they are completely unaware of what's happening around them per time. They are completely unaware of the dangers all around them per time. They are completely unaware of how they are supposed to behave in public and in private and in their homes. You see a father comes back home and then is just upset with everyone. He bottles things up. He's not even speaking to anyone. He's not talking to anybody. You see a mother comes home and she's picking it up on the kids and all of that. And sometimes the kids begins to wonder, what's wrong with dad? What's wrong with mommy? Sometimes they might begin to say these things as whispers. They begin to whisper among themselves. "Ha, what's happening? It's happening again. It's happening again." But it shouldn't be that way. You don't have to go through any of those traumatic experiences alone. A lot of persons are suffering from heartbreak, some not able to meet needs, and they are so traumatized. They are facing really, really difficult times. Some don't even have anyone to talk to. Now, if you are listening to me and you are going through such a difficult time, please be rest assured that you are not supposed to carry those things alone. You are not supposed to go through it alone. You ought to look for a safe space to speak with, or you need to look for a safe person to talk to. A lot of things is happening. A lot of persons are mentally sick, and that's very dangerous because you bottle things up, and before you know, there could be implosions. There could be implosions, and you never want to be in that stage where you bottle things up and then until you find yourself in the hospital or you find yourself being terminally ill. A lot of issues, a lot of things happen in our world today. You see somebody goes to bed and the following morning the person is completely gone. The following morning the person is completely gone and you begin to wonder what happened. But he came back home. She came back home last night. Everything was fine. Everything was fine when he or she came back home last night. He even ate. She even ate. We gisted for a while and then he or she went to bed. But in the morning, what happened? Person is gone. That's not our prayer. That's not our wish. So we must begin to do the right thing. We must begin to learn that we ought to speak up. We ought to speak up. Some of us, we may need to speak to our pastors. We might need to speak to a family member, a friend, someone we can confide on, someone who is not going to make our issues a subject of public discourse. So that's what we are talking about this afternoon. What is it that you're going through? What's that challenge that you are going through? Be rest assured, as I will always say, that see, the difference between you solving a problem and what you're going through with that problem is a matter of time. With time, it's either you solve that problem or you discover that that problem is no longer a challenge. So why do you want to kill yourself? Why do you want to kill yourself? In Nigeria, there's a popular saying, no go they do pass yourself in pidgin English. Don't do more than yourself. Don't do more than you can handle. All right. So at this point, I would want to bring my friend Pastor Emmanuel into this conversation. Pastor Emmanuel, you are welcome again.
Thank you so much for having me, sir.
All right, Pastor Emmanuel, you may need to put up your volume a bit. Your volume is very low, so you may need to put up your volume a bit. Now, Pastor Emmanuel, I'd like to
Yes, sir.
us to examine what do you think is the dangers of bottling things up, of keeping things to oneself. You don't want to take any, you don't want to talk to anybody. The load, the heavy weight, you just want to bottle it up, you just want to carry it yourself. What do you think is the danger? Or if there are no dangers, please let us know.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Chris. There's a lot of danger in not speaking up, in bottling things up, especially when you are going through challenge or difficult situations. Uh, from my own perspective, a lot of people decide not to talk when they are afraid of the consequences of speaking up because it's not everything that people. So quite a number of people are.
Okay, we seem to
In
be
keeping
having a bit
quiet
of network issue. Okay.
because when you keep quiet, the situation at hand gets worsened up. The situation at hand escalates when you have issues that you are going through on your mind and you decide not to talk.
Okay, we seem to be having a bit of network issues. Let's hope we can get Pastor Emmanuel back on. Let's this is safe to speak. I welcome every one of you. We are looking at why do people keep things to themselves? Why do people carry things just alone? They don't want to talk to anyone. Okay, Pastor Emmanuel, welcome back. I think we can see and we can hear you if you can proceed quickly.
Okay, sir. Like I said earlier, there is a whole lot of us when people bottle issues up in their mind. Uh, One of the reasons I a number of people decide not to talk, decide not to hear their views, are the consequences that follows talking out. A lot of people are afraid of being victimized. A whole number of people are afraid of being castigated when they speak out. So, my own take is that when you have issues going through on your mind and you decided not to talk, it the situation worsen. It makes the situation at hand deteriorate or to escalate. So, my candid advice to the teeming population listening to me right now or viewing us is that it's better to say something.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Let's hope we get Pastor Emmanuel back
Better
on.
off
Okay.
to talk your mind, to hear your view.
Okay. We seems to be having network issues from Pastor Emmanuel's end. Um. Okay. But two things up when you keep things yourself and the situation get worsened. You know, one, the problem is not solved, and then secondly, that's not even good for your it's not good for your health at all. All right, thank you so much for that beautiful submission from Pastor Emmanuel. So I hope Pastor Emmanuel get to come back because I'd like to ask him this question. Why does he think people keep things to themselves? You watching me now, why do you keep things to yourself? Why have you faced a difficult a situation and heartbreak, a terrible situation, and you felt I can't talk to anyone. It's better I just walk through this myself, and I feel I'm strong enough to go through it myself. Have you faced that kind of situation? I will tell you about myself. I remember some years ago, I had a very terrible situation. I was in a very terrible situation. Okay, Pastor Emmanuel. Oh, his network is going on and off. Now, I remember several years ago, I was in a very difficult situation, a dire situation, and I felt, well, usually I'm a very quiet person, so I felt I could go through this alone. Yeah, when the whole thing happened, I said, no, I don't have to talk to anyone. I'll sort out this myself. I'll go through it alone. And what happened? Yes, I'm a very strong person. I held on to the issues and felt I could just do it alone. The first week, I was so strong. I was handling it myself. Second week, same. I felt very strong, very confident that I can do it alone. And the third week, I couldn't sleep at night. The third week was hell for me. I couldn't sleep at night. couldn't concentrate on my work. In fact, the third week, I had to stop going to work. I just want to be alone. I just want to stay at home. When I'm tired of staying inside, I just want to drive out to town, spend a lot of time outside, you know, come back home late in the night, and became a terrible period for me. And one night, I slept. I woke up at night. I could not breathe. I was basically gasping for air for more than 5 minutes. I had to be hitting my chest constantly because I want to breathe. I want to be alive. And finally, after battling with myself alone in the living room, the breath finally came back and I rushed it. I was panting so hard. Thank God for His mercies that night. Thank God for His mercies that night. Probably, probably would have heard a situation, God forbid that. But it was fine. He was looking okay. Everything was fine with him. What happened? What happened? What happened? And no one will be able to find answers to it because I never spoke to anybody about what I was going through. And at that very moment, after God had mercy on me and I could breathe again, I decided that night that I was going to speak to someone. So that morning, first thing in the morning, I sent a message to him and I said, please, I'd like to come and see you. I have an issue. I'm losing my mind and I can no longer cope with the situation alone. I thought I could handle it myself. Fortunately, he said, oh, please come. That morning, I rushed first thing. I got to his house and immediately I started talking to him. Guess what happened? It was all tears gushing out of my eyes. At some point, I could not say anything. It was all tears and tears and tears. This man never said a word to me. He allowed me. He allowed the tears. At some point, he stood up, stood behind me, placed his hand at my back, and I felt so warm. I felt so cool, as if there's this chilling water that was poured right on me. When I felt that warmth, that was over 40 minutes. The tears constantly flowed over 40 minutes. This man was patient with me. He never said a word. He only stood up at some point, placed his hand at my back, just to assure me that everything is going to be fine. I That moment is absolutely a moment I'd rather not remember because I shed tears like a baby after I placed his hand on my back. And suddenly, within seconds, the tears dried up. After the tears, you know what happened exactly? I began to laugh. I began to laugh. I was laughing for over 5 minutes. The man joined in the laughter, of course. And I took a deep breath and I felt so much peace. So much peace that not a peace that had been so far from me for 3 good weeks. When I decided I could, when I thought and took the decision that I could handle this myself, no one should know about this. Um, no, 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 I shouldn't talk about this. I don't want this issue to go out. I don't want anybody to start to encourage me, because personally I don't like people consoling me. I don't like people telling me, sorry, sorry. I don't like that. So that's why most times I just want to go through situations myself. I just want to handle it myself until I learned that beautiful lesson that I always need to have a safe person, a safe space that I could relate with. I could relate my issue, no matter how dire, no matter how terrible the situation is. I should always have someone who is my confidant. So after the laughter, it sat down and we began to gist. You know what happened that moment when the last laughter came? Healing. The healing process started. I thought I could heal from week one, week two, until I saw life leaving me. Life was going out of me, and I had to run to someone. Please, you don't have to go through situations alone. Don't suffer in silence. Now, see, sometimes you might say, yes, well, any person I want to talk to will not be able to solve the problem. He will not be able to solve. But please, I am a living witness to this. Life was going out of me until I spoke to someone, and that very moment, healing began. And it's been over 3 years now after that experience. That is why constantly now I've got to speak to someone. And that moment was a defining moment for me. And I think that also contributed to this initiative, Safe to Speak, where we encourage people not to bottle things up. I knew life almost left me. Over 3 years now, I would have been forgotten. But I made a choice. I spoke. I spoke. Now, someone listening to me may say, well, I have tried this before. I spoke to someone. Okay, Esther, I see you. I acknowledge you said I. Thank you for joining us, Esther. Priya Shen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Please stay with us. If you have a question, you could ask. Okay, Saint Brian made a comment. Before I continue, I think let me take this. And Brian made a comment, say people keep things to themselves because the world is a scary place. People are afraid of who to confide in. Sometimes sharing personal trials tend to escalate things. Pastor Emmanuel, welcome back.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, Pastor Emmanuel, I will leave this for you. I'd like you to respond. Someone Saint Brian made a comment. He said, "People keep things to themselves because the world is a scary place. Sometimes sharing personal trials tend to escalate things." What do you have to say to Saint Brian? Okay, I think we are having a bit of network
Is that
issues with.
instead
Okay,
of keeping quiet, it's better
okay, I think we are having.
consequence of not speaking up is is uh, is is great
Okay, I think we're still
to be
having network
afraid.
challenges from.
Nobody should be afraid of saying something you are going through trials and tribulations. Because
Mm,
if you decide
mm, okay.
consequences of your action of not speaking up will be far greater.
Mm, okay. Pastor Emmanuel is trying to say that the consequences of not speaking up is quite greater. Okay, continue, Pastor Emmanuel.
Okay, like I said the consequences of keeping quiet is more grievous than staying silent when there is an issue, when there is a problem. So it's far better to speak up than keeping quiet.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Pastor Emmanuel. That the consequences of keeping quiet is much more grievous, much greater than you speaking up. So, Pastor Emmanuel, I want us to examine an aspect of what at Saint Brian said. He said that the world has become a very scary place where sharing personal trials tend to escalate things. Now, I don't think at St. Brian is trying to say um, people shouldn't speak up, but his concern is that the world has become a scary place and people tend to uh, escalate things when they are confined, when they become aware of certain trials. Now, since Pastor Emmanuel's network is on and off, so let me say something to you at Saint Brian and to everyone that is listening and watching this right now. Now, of course, that is a big fear. Everyone is scared. Moreover, remember that we are in the social media age where everything goes on social media, and there's a usual saying that the social media, internet never forgets. So no one wants his or her personal issues to become a subject of public discourse. No one wants their private situation to escalate and begin to get to people that ordinarily shouldn't be aware. Because take it or leave it, sometimes there are some they could, or someone that wants you to go down can use those information against you. And that is where the aspect of safe to speak comes. That is the purpose of this platform. We want a place where people's voice can be heard, where you can be listened to and no one is going to judge you. Your situation will not be used for any public commentary whatsoever. 100% private until you give the consent for your your issue to be discussed publicly, even with certain limits. If you even with certain limits, yes, we can do that, because sometimes people tend to we put out experience so that others can learn from it. Just as I said, this at the beginning of this program, I shared my own personal experience where I had a terrible situation, and I thought I was going to I could handle it myself. I thought I could just bottle it up. I thought I could just handle it, and that's it. But I was wrong. The situation got so worse first week, second week, third week, and I saw life was going out of me. I had to rush to someone. And luckily for me, I spoke to the right person who understood listening, you know who understood listening, who understood that he has to be patient with me. He has to allow me to say everything single thing. Even when I was shedding tears, he was patient with me. He allowed all the tears to flow out. Such a person we should look for, such a space we should look for. So that's why, even though the world has become scary, but believe me, there are good persons out there that you can relate with. There are good spaces out there, like Safe to Speak, that you can relate with. Reach out to us. We will listen to you. We will stand by you. You will not go through that situation alone. That's why we created this platform for such, for you, for absolutely for you. You don't have to carry it alone. All right. So I know someone will say, perhaps someone is even saying, you don't understand. Hey, Safe to Speak, Mr. Chris, you don't understand. Someone I trusted, I shared my personal trials with. I shared my personal experience, my trials with the person. I trusted the person with my life. The person could even be a pastor. It could be someone, a mentor, someone you so much have, so much respect, someone you so much trusted. And the person betrayed you. And because of that, you made up your mind that you aren't going to speak to anyone again. I understand you, and I see you. But I want you to know that if someone betrayed you, don't feel bad. That situation is not on you, it's on that person for betraying your trust. You have only discovered that that person cannot be trusted, and that person is not worthy of any information whatsoever from you. That's what you have only discovered. But believe me, there are still persons out there you could confide. There are still persons there you could confide in. And there are safe spaces out there that you can confide in, just like Safe to Speak. So that's what we are saying today. So at St. Brian, if you have been disappointed before by someone you so much trusted, someone you have great respect for, it's not on you, it's on that person for betraying your trust. You are wiser, you are smarter, you are stronger than that person who betrayed your trust. So it's on that person. So, but you've got to move on. And the fact still remains that you don't have to suffer in silence. You've got to speak up. And you have to do that right now. After this session, you got to look for someone. There's always persons around you that you could speak with. Reach out to Safe to Speak. We are available for you. We understand these things. We have gone through it ourselves. I've gone through it myself, and I believe Pastor Emmanuel have had experiences too. Every one of us have had these experiences, so we understand what it means to uh, to keep private matters private, and we understand how what it means to walk with you, to stand by you. So on this note, I'd like you to also recommend. So part of our responsibility is to recommend this page to others. Let's get to share this page. Let's get to share Safe to Speak and page, and subscribe if you have not subscribed, so that you wouldn't miss any of our session. Here at Safe to Speak, we open doors to honest conversations. And this is just one of the conversations we're having today. Why do people keep things to themselves? Why do people uh, carry heavy weights by themselves without having the willingness to speak to anyone? So, Pastor Emmanuel, you are welcome again. I think Pastor Emmanuel's network is going on and off. Maria to Ken, we see you. Greetings to you, Maria. Maria too. I hope I got that right. Maria to Ken. Esther, I see you. Priya Shen, I see you. If you want us to talk about anything, you want to ask a question, you can send a comment. You can ask your questions. We are going to attend to it. If you want to share your experience with us, you want to share your experience, just put out a comment. I'm going to right away. I'm going to speak about it. All right. I'm going to speak about it. This life that we are, there are betrayers. Sometimes you might begin to even think there are more persons out there betraying others than the good persons who will not betray you. Pastor Emmanuel, are you there? Pastor Emmanuel, can you talk about betrayers? Why do people betray others? For Is it for selfish reasons, or they want to get at someone? Someone confides, shared a confident, share something with you in confidence, and you tend to share it with another person. And there's this saying that once you share someone's secret with one person, you can be sure that who you shared it with will also share it with another person, and it begins to go around. So, Pastor Emmanuel, are you there? Okay. While we wait for Pastor Emmanuel to come back, please, you want to ask a question? Thank you. Priya Shen said, "Thank you so much, sir." Yes, thank you too. Thank you for being part of our Safe to Speak family. If you have not subscribed, subscribe to this channel. Here we open doors to honest conversations. We discuss societal issues. We discuss things affecting you, things affecting me. We discuss basic issues that is important to our health, that's important to our mental well-being, because we know there are mental issues now is so prevalent in our society. It's everywhere. People are suffering. In fact, the situation now is so worse because of the economic challenges we face from this part of the world is so terrible, and from other parts of the world too. I remember someone once shared with me that she has a friend in the US, an 18-year-old boy who who said he has attempted suicide 3 times. And he asked him, why suicide 3 times at 18? And the boy said, "You will not understand. I have I'm battling a lot of issues. I have mental issues, and no one is even listening to me. I can't find who to speak with. So sometimes I just feel I should end my life." So you have these things everywhere. Not just it's not an exclusive issue for Nigerians or for Africa. It's a global issues. You have suicide everywhere. People, it's really terrible. And the danger of all of these is people, persons paying the ultimate price in terms of sickness, in terms of losing their lives. Don't think it's a small issue. Don't think it's just an issue that you can pray it away. No. Why you pray, why you pray, you why you pray, you've got to also do the right thing by speaking up. I remember those days you have a lot of counseling sessions in religious houses, in churches. But these days, I it's even more difficult. It's not as it used to be those days. And those days, clergies are very secretive. Very secretive. You make a confession to them, to a reverend father. It stays with the reverend fathers. It stays with the reverend father. I remember those days you go for confession, the reverend father doesn't even have to see your face. He doesn't even have to know you. You can go and talk about situations. He prays with you and tells you what to do, counsel you, advise you. You really have things like that. And sometimes religious houses, you even share maybe perhaps a sin you committed or something terrible, and then your pastor begins to look you with one kind of eyes. It doesn't have to be that way. Okay, at O'Brien made a comment again. I think reasons why one is betrayed: one, jealousy, insecurity, insecurity, okay, lack of empathy, low emotional maturity, moral misalignment. Perfectly said. Perfectly said, O'Brien. Absolutely. I was asking Pastor Emmanuel to lend his voice on betrayal earlier on, before his network became an issue. So you have there's so much betrayals going on. People are betraying everyone here and there. Sometimes from someone you so much trust and respect, and you share something with someone, that kind of person, and the person betrays you. So unfortunate what the world is turning into. Yes, betrayal happens out of jealousy, out of insecurity, lack of empathy, lack of compassion. And sometimes when someone begins to lack emotional maturity to handle certain situations, somebody comes to share something with you, the next time, immediately the person is turning his back to leave, you are already reaching out to another person. Hey, can you imagine what this person have gone to share? Shame on you. That's just it. Shame on you. If you are that kind of person, shame on you. That something as serious as someone's privacy, someone's trial is shared with you, and then you are out there sharing it out with others. It's a big shame. And you should stop it. If you don't stop it, someday you would also have a situation you need to speak to somebody, and you will be embarrassed because your secret will not be kept. What you sow, you reap it. This is serious. I have been betrayed several times. I know what I'm saying. Okay, at Victoria Udowo joined, and she said, and most of them are very proud of this betrayal, gaslighting, or flipping stories to play the victim. You are very correct. Sometimes these persons, when they betray you, they begin to gaslight you as well. They gaslight you. They make you feel terrible. After all, who contributed to you putting yourself in such a situation. They begin to ask some questions that are very annoying to just to gaslight you. And some of these persons, especially when it has to do with friends, jealousy, jealousy. I don't want to be gender biased anyway, but I know this is very common with females. You see someone you have you are a lady, you have a friend, who is in a very decent relationship. You get to know of a secret, or your friend get to share a secret with you of something of something she has done, and she feels so bad. She cannot go through the situation alone. She needed your help. She needed your counsel. And the next thing, you want to reach out to the lady's partner to let's say, oh, this is a secret, or this is what your girlfriend is doing, this is what she has done, or this is what your wife has done, this is what your fiancé has done. Shame on you. Really? Yes. It's a shame. It's a shame. Why? Because all along you've been jealous of your friend, and your friend trusted you. Okay, I see. Before I continue, I see at the insight place. You said Pastor Emmanuel is having a network issue. Kindly bear with him, please. God bless Engineer Chris Uloko, Safe to Speak founder. Oh, thank you so much. The insight place. Yes, yes, yes. I think the location of Pastor Emmanuel at this time, though he wasn't supposed to be in this show, but I wanted his voice to be here because I know how important his voice is. So I Pastor Emmanuel, if you are seeing this, I appreciate your voice. Safe to speak, I appreciate your voice, and I believe this family love you, and we appreciate your voice. We appreciate your contributions. Thank you so very much. Thank you. The insight said, "Keep going, keep going. We love you, sir. I love you too. I love every one of you, but I'm speaking so passionately this afternoon because this is a terrible situation that is affecting everyone. There's really few persons you could trust out there. Well, that's the reason for Safe to Speak. That is why we came up with this initiative, so that you will not be scared of reaching out, of speaking with someone. You can count on us. Your privacy is 100% guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed. But having said all of this, the key message to you is that you don't have to suffer in silence. The fact that you have been betrayed before doesn't mean you can't find someone safe, or you can't find a safe space like Safe to speak with, or to reach out to. You can. We are available for you. We are here to give you voice. We amplify your voice. Whether you want it privately, you want it publicly, whatever, at your terms. But be rest assured that at Safe to Speak, we will give you a voice. We will stand with you. We'll walk with you. We'll be there for you. Don't suffer in silence. Don't carry the burden alone. Speak to someone today. Send us an email. Safe to speak initiative at gmail.com. Safe to speak initiative at gmail.com. Send us an email, reach out to us. You don't have to suffer alone. You don't have to carry those heavy weights alone. We are not going to judge you because judgment is another very big issues. You get to speak to someone before you before you say something, before you say 10% of what you ought to say, the person is already judging you. The person is already saying in his mind, you that with so much trust and we thought you are a God-fearing person, you could do such a thing. The person is already judging you before you realize what is going on. The person is already looking at you with eyes filled with judgment, with a mindset filled, corrupted, and filled with judgment. It shouldn't have to be that way. Unfortunately, unfortunately, this is the reality that we all face in our society today. Sometimes when people judge like this, they forget that no one is perfect. No one, no one is perfect, including all the self-righteous people out there. You are not perfect. If you think you are righteous, the Bible says your righteousness is as a filthy rag. You are not. That is why I say to you today, if you have passed judgment on anyone before, you need to ask God for mercy. If you have betrayed the trust of anyone before, especially someone that is going through trial, someone that is going through a difficult time, the person shares his issue with you, and you are just at the snap of the finger, you are already out there making it an, an issue for that person, escalating that matter. That's not right. Please ask God for mercy. But please, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to behave like that anymore. Whatever you do at the end of the day, it sorry about that. Whatever you do at the end of the day has a way of coming back to you. So please, you just have to turn a good leaf if you had in time past. Sorry, I'm having a bit of challenge with my setup. Okay, let me see if I can get it to be a little bit stable. So basically, you've you've really got to tidy up your life and turn a good leaf. Become the safe person, the safe space that someone could confide on, so that when your own time comes, you will definitely not be alone. Could we say a word of prayer? Father, thank you for this moment. Thank you for this conversation. Lord, I pray for everyone that has joined. And I pray for everyone that will come across this. Let your mighty hand rest upon them. For everyone that is burdened, everyone that is carrying weights far bigger than them, Lord, I ask, oh God, guide them to finding a safe space, finding a safe person that they can confide on, and let there be healing available for them. Help us to become better persons, lighten our burdens for us, especially every one of us, oh God, that looks up to you for strength. Strengthen us, help us. So I speak to every one of you watching me right now. You receive help in Jesus' name. See you again. My name is Chris Uloko, and I'm the founder, Safe to Speak Initiative. Here we open doors to honest conversations, and your voice does matter. Subscribe to our channel, follow us, like, comment, so that you don't get to miss any of our sessions. And most importantly, tonight at 8 p.m., we'll be live again. This time around, we'll be looking at teenagers. We'll be looking at why teenagers keep quiet. Why do they keep silence? Why don't teenagers speak with their parents or their guardians? Why do they choose to handle things themselves? Now, I want to discuss this. Why this topic was born out of an experience yesterday at the Safe to Speak Club school meeting at King of Kings Academy, Lugbe, Abuja, Nigeria. During the club meeting, we're discussing on why their voice matters. And I asked the student, I said, how many of you at home, when you speak, your parents listen to you? When you speak, everybody listen to you because your voice matters, because your voice have become so important in your home. How many of you? And they all shouted, they don't allow us to talk. My parents, they don't listen to us. They don't, almost all of them. And I felt, wow, this is serious. You mean you have a child, a teenage child, and you don't have time to know what's going on in the head of your child, what kind of friends your child have, what's happening in your child's school and all of that. You don't have the time for that. You don't create opportunity for that. That's really terrible. So want to look at this by between um 1:30 to 2 p.m. You see a post on that. Don't miss that session. It's going to be very important. God bless you and have a very beautiful day ahead. I love you. Bye for now.